Don't worry, still two wheels. Yes, I know this is a Porsche Carrera 911, fantastic car. 170 mile an hour performance, 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. But what about if you're thoroughly into bikes, you're not interested in cars? But let me ask you this, what about if you're sort of interested in cars and you fancied one with a bike engine like this? And it's called a Megabusa. Yeah, this really is a car with a bike engine. Nearly lost the cameraman then. But you can hear that howl from the engine, and that clunk is a sequential gearbox. Standard Suzuki job, but as you sneak through the gears, you just hear that clunk because of the transmission. But this isn't very civilised. It's not supposed to be. This is a fun car, which is why I'm shouting. You also can hear all the grit coming up off the road. But I tell you, out on a sunny day, even though it's wintry, it's pretty good. And that sound is addictive. Hear that? The brakes are pretty good as well. Now I know what you're thinking he's having us on. There isn't really a bike engine under there, but there is. Look, it even says Megabusa on the bonnet. But I've unlocked this and I've put this against the wall in this beautiful winter sunshine. There we go. And there it is, the Hiyabusa lump. And just look at that exhaust system as well, fantastic. Unmistakable Hiyabusa lump. Well, I say unmistakable, normally you wouldn't even see it, would you? It's all under the fairing. But in that big silencer, they've even put a catalytic converter to make it all very civilised and environmentally friendly. Over the back here, what you can see is the gearbox and clutch. And in fact, it's identical to the bike, and there is an output shaft there to the prop shaft. And if I waddle the old gear lever, there's the gear lever linkage. And you've got a reverse on this, which of course you haven't got on the ordinary road bike, because you wouldn't need it, would you? What else is there to tell you? Space frame chassis, because sports cars are like that. And up the front end here, it's got fully adjustable suspension, which is just what we say on all our bike tests, isn't it? But it's true. There they are, big dampers, fully adjustable. In fact, front and rear, disc brakes all round, massive chunky tyres. But you need it with this sort of power. Coming around here to the cockpit, and just like us bikers, it's just as, you know, you've got all these race trimmings like you get on a sports rep bike. So you've got the full diagonal belts here, or lap and diagonal belts. You have to get those out and then clamber into this. So it's a good job I'm young and fit. Nice bucket seats. Get your feet down here under this nice little wheel, and there we are, snug as a bug in a rug. What about this? Carbon fibre everywhere. There's Megabusa again, carbon fibre dash. But it's really basic stuff. Rev counter, speedo, idiot lights there. There's the old gear lever. And to fire him up, all you have to do, you switch on the fuel pump here. Hear it whizzing up. Press the old start button. And there we go. Unmistakably a bike engine. It's sequential gearbox. So you just stick it into gear, into first gear, and then just keep pulling it back like that all the way through the 6 speeds. When you want reverse, back into first, and then move this little lever forward. That puts it into reverse. Back you go, sneak it out, and you're off forward again. And you haven't got a lot of weather protection either in this. See these little deflectors here, supposed to take the wind over your head. But it works after a fashion, and after all, it is a sports car. It is for a bit of fun. It is very much like a motorbike. And the same for luggage. You've got this little trough at the back here, but no weather protection. It's got my hat and my glasses in there, and that's it. So biking on 4 wheels. naturally you associate four wheels with comfort. I don't think comfort comes into this. This is fun. It really is, even though I'm not smiling. And so who wants civilised luxury armchair seats? I've got my knees braced against the side and you can feel every bump. Very much a motorbiking experience. So just who is it who makes these contraptions? Contraptions that might be a little bit unfair, but the man here with me, this is Chris Smith, he's the MD of Westfield. And what I'd like to know, Chris, I mean, you've been making motors for a long time now, 20 years or thereabouts?
20 years, yeah.
But big engines, V8s and all the rest of it?
All sorts, from 1800 Z-Techs through to 4.5 litre V8s.
So what started this bike engine thing then?
It was an idea that just would make the car much lighter and more acceptable to the raw seat-of-the-pants driver.
Yeah, well, that's dead right. I can vouch for that. So, and why particularly the Hiyabusa? Is that just because it's the sort of the most powerful engine you can currently get hold of?
When we looked into the bike engines, the one that came out best was the Suzuki Hiyabusa.
And one of the things that's going to intrigue a lot of people, they might think it's a bit low on torque, but I mean, I've now driven it, and it's not. It does work, doesn't it? And
it's amazing just how good it is. It's something that was a consideration right at the beginning, but in real terms, it's just massively strong engine and really, really hard to fault, really.
Yeah. And the sort of person who buys these, because they're not cheap, are they? You might say value per pound, it's certainly cheap, or rather performance per pound. But who's your typical customer? Because this track day thing is quite big, isn't it?
The track day scene has grown considerably, and we think it's very much on the increase. And it's that sort of guy who's bought a Porsche or a Ferrari for a track day, found it expensive to maintain, and he'll buy one of these just as a toy.
Yeah.
Or a third or a fourth car.
Yeah, but you can use it on the road though.
Oh yeah, they're road legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but predominantly the customers are track day customers.
Right. And interesting, Chris, the Hiyabusa engine, that's not the only one you use, is it?
No, we use Honda Fireblade and Honda Blackbird as well.
Yeah.
Both good, strong engines.
Right. Well, I want to go out and have another play, and that's okay with you, isn't it?
Absolutely no problem.
Okay, thanks a lot, Chris.
Okay.
Well, that's it. A Hiyabusa engine car. Did you ever think you'd ever see anything like that? It's loads of fun. This one will cost you $21,900, which is a lot of money. But you get a lot of performance for that. Arguably far more than you would for a Porsche. And so terrific fun. If you're into track days and you've got the lolly, you could keep this one for quite a while. I'm just going to keep it for another couple of days.